Hey, what's up?
Hey Ryan, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Let me get my camera set up. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
Late.
Hey Ryan Wines with Marmoset Music. So Ryan, I want to start by just thanking you for joining me for Word on the Street Hot Topics edition. Um, I wanted to talk to you because I know that you have a growing music company, and I wanted for folks to understand the impact that the COVID-19 pandemic has had on business and just you as a human being. How are you managing what's going on in the world right now? And so I'm all about people, I'm all about culture and relationships. And I wanted to share the relationships I have with, thought leaders and business owners and civic leaders with folks who watch Word on the Street either on YouTube or on LinkedIn. So thank you so much, Ryan, for joining us today.
Of course.
So, to start this thing off, I would love for you to share a brief overview about what Marmoset Music is and even just how you got started with Marmoset Music.
Well, first and foremost, I just got to say I'm so thankful to have you and Workforce Change in my life and in my company's life. You've been such a incredible resource, critical resource for us over the years as we've grown and as we've gone through all kinds of changes and challenges. You have been one of my most steady, most reliable, most brilliant experts and friends, both professionally and personally. So I just want to say big, big props to you, Serilda. You clearly are such a game changer in this community, and it's been real in my life. So thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. And if I could blush, I'd be red right now. I just wanted you to know that. But no, thank you for the shout out. I appreciate it. And I always love working with Marmoset Music and the community that you guys have over there. So, what is Marmoset Music?
Marmoset is we're a music agency, full service music agency. We put music in a lot of advertising, marketing, some TV and film, film trailers, basically any kind of video content that you can imagine. Quite typically, you might experience it while watching television, while watching streaming media, while on the internet, social media, wherever you experience video content. There's usually some music in there, and if there's music in there, that's our special powers. We provide music from independent artists, independent record labels, all kinds of people in the music community.
Right on. And they can license the music through you, right? Isn't that the way it works?
Yeah, we actually do a lot of things, but basically, if you need music, we've got it. So if you want a specific song, whether it's a pop song, a rap song, R&B, if you want some vintage, like authentic vintage recordings from the 40s or 50s or 60s, we represent a really wide range of music. And we also do a lot of custom composing, music production. So if you want a custom score for a project, if you want sound design, if you want us to go out into the world and find the perfect soundtrack for some film project you've got, we can do pretty much anything you need when it comes to putting music in content.
I love the way you talk about music, right? You were like, if you're looking for that special thing, like I could see, you just light up internally. And that was cool for me just to see you vibe out a little bit on what you love. That was cool.
Yeah, it's true and it's real. I love the work we do. It's not everybody that has the opportunity to do what they love. And so I'm thankful. Every day I wake up, I just kind of look at it as a blessing that I get to do something that's in community-based, it's art-based, it's people-based, music-based. It's in all of the things that really bring me a lot of joy and bring a lot of other people joy too. So
Right on. Right on. Well, I'm going to transition to kind of what's happening with businesses and companies right now. In workplace change, we work with people, their workforces, how to onboard them, how to treat them when they're there, and how to offboard them. And a lot of folks have been furloughing and laying off in response to what's going on with the pandemic, this crisis that the world is in collectively right now. I wanted to just ask you, just human to human, as a CEO of a company, how has the pandemic, how has COVID-19 and the current state of business and the world and the community and health, how has it impacted your company specifically?
yeah, well, it's hard and unprecedented. First and foremost, it's impacted us just because it's affecting real people's lives. people are dying right now as we're here on this call, unfortunately.
Right.
And I think the sadness um, for that, there's just no words. And to know that we're still, I think, in the beginning stages in our own community. And I think we're going to experience more sickness, more health challenges, more healthcare challenges in our community. I really don't have any words, expertise, or understanding to add about those things other than I'm watching it in real time and experiencing it in real time like everybody else. And it's beyond me. It's really hard. That said,
Mhm.
in my company, how is it impacting us? Well,
Right.
right out of the gate, of course, we made some changes to anticipate the economic. Uh, I keep calling it the economic storm that we're anticipating or that we're in. Um, there's a lot of experts and analysis out there that are suggesting it could be a 3-month economic storm to a
Yeah.
6-month economic storm. I haven't heard too many people project beyond 12 months. But I do think we know that there's a storm that's here and it's hitting us right now. And when the storm passes, if we can weather the storm,
Right.
there's something else on the other side that looks like a recession. And we don't know what that means either. But I like to stay on the optimistic side, the positive side of things. It's just better for my mental health. It's better for my business health. And so what we've done is to anticipate the economic storm, which is real. Is we made some immediate, I mean, like day one, we made really immediate budget and expense cuts and reductions. We basically went into what I would call a crisis mode
Mhm.
and are doing everything we can to cut everything down to only critical, only very essential needs we have from an expense standpoint.
Yeah.
That unfortunately included some personnel decisions that we needed to make.
Yeah.
So we did reduce our workforce by 5 full-time roles. Now, in that, we have treated every payroll reduction as a furlough
Yeah.
because we look at this as a temporary storm that
That's
we're
right.
weathering. And when this hopefully 3 months, 4 months storm is over, we have every intention of bringing our people back.
Right.
And in the meantime, because A, we can afford to, and because B, I think it's the right thing to do, we are maintaining our employer contribution to health and dental and medical benefits for our staff. And I don't say that from a preachy place
Yeah.
or I'm better than you place to anyone out there. I'm just saying we can thankfully afford to do that right now.
That's right.
And so because it's a possibility, we're going to do it. But I do know, unfortunately, for a lot of my peers and business owners out there, it's not a possibility. So we're doing it as long as we can. And our hope is that on the other side of this storm, we'll be able to bring people back.
And so, how are you talking about this with your workforce? I mean, like you said, to your point, we're all in this together in this moment. This is a health crisis that is omnipresent. It's a global crisis that we're in. How are you broaching this conversation with your workforce to prepare them for the long haul of 4 to 6 months of cutting back and just business not being what it used to be, it being different, the work environment being different, teleworking? How are you having these conversations with your workforce?
It's a good question. So I've gotten some really good feedback from some of my fellow leaders on my executive team that have encouraged me to keep it real, to not
Please.
get into blue skies and sunshine yet, to keep it real and keep people grounded into what's really happening,
Right.
and to not try to like paint a rosier picture than what's really happening. So I'm trying to keep things as flat and as neutral emotionally as I can. And I'm really just trying to up our communication among our team. So we have currently about 45 full-time employees.
Yes.
And we've got that broken down into 6 different work groups or teams. One of those teams is a bigger team that's broken into 3 sub-teams. And so what we did initially when the big changes came down from budget and expense reductions and hard personnel decisions is we immediately had video calls with every team individually,
Yep.
where I basically led them with letting them know the state of things, what our strategy is, what to expect, and what things will look like on an ongoing basis. And so within that dialogue, there's basically 3 things I have found to be really helpful for me and also for my leaders and our teams. And that is just to answer three main questions. One is, what are we doing to provide the utmost safe and health responsiveness given the current pandemic that we're experiencing across the globe. So health and safety being priority one. So we've got everybody working remote. We're encouraging everybody, begging everybody to stay home and to stay quarantined, to follow all of the recommended guidelines and actually go beyond that if you can, because we all know better safe than sorry. And so we're supporting our team in every way, shape, or form, whether they need sick time, PTO, whatever their needs may be, we're here for them in that. So that's priority one. Priority two is what are we doing to protect people's jobs? Mm-hmm. And so I'm letting people know exactly what we're doing to protect their jobs, to protect their livelihood. And at Marmoset, at my company, when we protect people's jobs, it's our immediate employees, but we also impact a lot of contractors and freelancers. Over 1,000 different artists and musicians and bands out in the music community, record labels and such, are all receiving, we're all varying levels of marginal to critical part of their revenue stream. And so we're working really hard to protect that. And then the third thing is, what are we doing strategically to protect the company long term? Right. How are we going to weather the storm? How are we going to come out on the other side and be strong and healthy so that we can be part of the response and rebuilding to the community that's going to need? So those are the three things we're focusing on. Those are the three topics that I'm really framing the conversations with our team. And then overall is communication, trying to do more communication. And so every morning, every team has a video huddle where they check in. It's about a 10-minute kind of like a stand-up huddle. Although today probably most people are sitting down in these at their desks. Right. Where we just go through basically like how they're doing, what they're grateful for, trying to focus on some positive, what their top priority of the day is, what their challenges of the day, if they have any PTO coming up, and then there's a time for a personal share, but just trying to get that initial connection at the start of each day on every team. And then at the top of every week, I'm also sending an all-company email letting people know what the state of things are. I give an update on what each team is working on and what they're up to. And we're also kind of doing sharing a word on the street. What is the intel out there in the community, in our industry, so that people can help kind of see what's coming and know what to expect.
Word on the street. I like that product placement. I can dig it. Okay.
I might have heard that from you.
I'm saying, I feel like, no, I think everybody uses it. Okay. So when we think you were talking about the global music community and how you support them and contractors and artists, what can we do? What can we do as community members to support a business like yours and to support artists that may be, kind of getting hit pretty hard right now with this crisis that we're in? What can we do?
It's a hard question right now because we're in the middle of this economic storm. My hope is it doesn't last any longer than a couple months. But during this storm, I mean, we're battening down the hatches and we're just in survival mode. We're trying to conserve cash and really trying to stay communicative with all of the artists in the community. Beyond that, I really don't know. I know if our artist relations team was here, that they have a list of resources of ways you can support artists. I know a lot of artists are getting really innovative and creative with their Instagram live streams, with live performances on YouTube. A really good way to support artists is just to go buy their music right now. I know we're all spending a lot more time at home. And so having some music to work to during the day maybe, or maybe some music to have on in the evening over dinner. Anytime you can think of an opportunity to support artists, there are a lot of ways you can by buying and streaming music. The best way is to buy music anytime you can directly from an artist. However, any music consumption that you can take in right now that you believe supports artists, and some does better than others, would be a good way.
All right, so we're going to get to the personal in our closing questions, all right? So you're a dad of small kids. I'm a mom of small kids. You're working from home. You're a husband. You have a partner that's in the house with you as well. How are you balancing work and life right now? What are the tricks of the trade for you?
Well, it's I feel like my top answer for everything is Serilda. It's really hard right now.
Right.
And there's been some really good entertaining I don't know, like videos going around that have brought me a little bit of laughter about what to do about this. But I'd say what is grounding me the most is getting into a routine and really getting into a groove each day. So there's a lot of research out there that speaks to like famous and successful people often have a really strong morning routine. And so I've looked into a bunch of this. I've done some research, and I've just been staying really tight in my morning routine as much as I can. And I'll say, in this situation, all bets are off some days, depending on how my co-inhabitants, my 7-year-old, 9-year-old, and my wonderful partner, how we all wake up and get started. But if I can have a little time and space to get some exercise, maybe go for a run, do some meditation or some prayer, do some reading and some learning, do some I do some like bullet journaling, kind of micro journaling. If I can do all of those sorts of things and eat, I don't know, I really love my Vitamix, so I throw a bunch of healthy stuff that I usually don't like in there and make sure there's just enough strawberries and berries to keep it a little bit sweet. Have that every morning. I feel like if I'm doing all of those things, I can get them all done before about 9 a.m. Which does require waking up early. Right. Then I feel like my day has been positioned in a way where I have a much better odds of succeeding. I've got my brain doing the right things. I'm practicing gratitudes. I'm meditating. I'm running. I'm eating well. So getting into that groove first thing in the day, including like getting showered and getting dressed and getting out of those sweatpants, getting into a work mode, so important. And then also in these situations, it's realizing that it's not all about me either. My partner's got a real serious career as well. My kids have school, and somehow just knowing that we're all in this as a community. We're all in this as a planet. Everybody's going through some version of this hunker down and survive mode. When I think about it that way, I'm often stopped to realize that I've been blessed. I've got so many wonderful things to be grateful for. And so I really just try to stay as far away from the fear and worry as I can, and really try to stay in a place of gratitude and abundance as much as I can. One last really key thing that's been helpful for me is limiting my intake of the media. There's a lot of good research that says don't ever start your day by reading the news, and don't ever end your day right before bed, head on the pillow, reading the news. Those are two things that can start and end your day, like and have a really big, unfortunate, like negative impact. So I'm really working hard to give myself about 30 minutes, middle of the day, maybe while eating lunch or something like that, to read the news. I limit myself to about 3 main websites I go to. Otherwise, I could just start surfing all through the entire internet and reading all kinds of things. It's not healthy for me. So I'm giving it to myself in a small dose, limited number of sites right in the middle of the day, and trying to really stay away from it getting at the end of the day. And that's been a really helpful thing for me.
Awesome. Well, to close out this conversation, I want to hear one of your gratitudes, and I want to hear who you listen to. Who are you listening to right now? I mean, you're in the music biz, so what's hot for you?
Oh man. I'm listening to. I've just got a lot of go-to things I listen to. I do listen to a lot of jazz and a lot of classical, a lot of Sun Ra. Also, my go-tos are like Frank Ocean and Shuggie Otis. A lot of stuff that Daptone puts out, like the Frighteners and the Olympians. And what was the other question?
One gratitude.
Oh, gratitude. I have really enjoyed being able to do some Zoom meetings, hangouts, happy hours with friends. Last night, I've got a friend group. We meet twice a month, and I think there was 8 of us last night. We got on a call, and we all checked in about how we're doing. There's something I like to do with friends and with my family at dinner we call Roses and Thorns, where we share one rose from the day and one thorn from the day. So we did that with my friends. At the end of the call, we all brought our partners and kids on for about 15 minutes and just kind of got silly. And I'm thankful. I never thought I'd be thankful for a Zoom call or a FaceTime call, but I'm so thankful we have this technology because it's been a really unique, surprising way of staying connected through this crisis.
Right on. Well, number one, I just had happy hour with my girls group couple days ago, and it was cathartic. I mean, I wish I could have been, with them, but I understand the situation we're in, and the wine tastes just as good via Zoom as it did when I'm in one of their houses or they're in my house. So, Ryan, I want to thank you for jumping on this Zoom. I want to thank you for sharing.
Serilda, when are we going to meet up and have a virtual?
Well, let's drink tonight.
All right. Text me
Again,
afterwards, or I'll text you.
yes. So thank you so much for jumping on. Thanks for joining me for Word on the Street, Hot Topics edition. I appreciate you. You just brought so much zen to my world right now. Like you are mad zen right now, and I appreciate that, Ryan.
Back at you, right back at you. Your energy is so high.
I'll talk to you soon.
All right, wish you well.
Thank you.
Bye, Serilda.
Bye.